Okay, now we're on the third Zodiac group in the season of serving the King, and this will be Cancer, and you'll find that Messiah is the Good Shepherd. Now, how do you get a Good Shepherd from a crab? And the answer is you don't. Before it was a crab, it was called the Gate of Men by the Chaldeans, who were noted for everything to do about stars. Anyway, the Gate of Men directly relates to Jesus when he called himself the door. He said, I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. Okay? Now that's the key verse here. I am the door. If any man enter in, he shall be saved, and go in and out and find pasture. And then later on, he says, I am the good shepherd, and know my sheep, and am known of mine. Okay, so he is the door, he is the good shepherd. When he's calling himself the door, men are coming in and out and finding pasture. So he's relating to the men as sheep. And then he directly calls himself the good shepherd. All right? That is where we're getting all this from. Now, there are 4 constellations in the zodiac group of the Gate of Men. One is Argo, the ship. Okay? That one I'll keep intact. Argo, the ship. That one fits fine. And I'm just going to think of it as the ark, where all of the animals went into protection from the flood. So the ark very much fits in this group. So the Gate of Men, the ark, and now what are these other 2, which we call Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, or the Great Bear and the Little Bear? Now I have an objection to that. I do not think they originally were Great Bear and Little Bear. I think they were the great fold and the little fold of sheep. Once upon a time, the Hebrews used to call these signs the dub. Now, dub is their word for bear, but their word for bear also sounds like deber, which is used as a fold, a sheepfold, and it's used in Micah 2. Also, the name of the constellation, what they call Ursa Major, is used in Job. Can you guide Arcturus and his sons? And that word Arcturus in Hebrew is Aish. Now, Aish is a name, and it comes from the word Ush, which is used once in the Bible, and it's used as in assemble yourselves. And then the next, right after assemble yourselves, it's gather yourselves. Talking to the Gentiles, to assemble yourselves and gather yourselves the way a shepherd would gather and assemble a flock. It has that connotation, that word. Again, that's fitting better with a flock of sheep, a protective flock, a protection, okay, that has a door, a gate, a protection where they go in and they go out, okay? The protection of the ark. Now, there are 2 star clusters in the Gate of Men, crab. One is a beehive. And by the way, the Hebrew word for beehive, according to Strong's, its etymology comes from the word dabar, meaning to speak, as in the sense that a bee has an orderly motion, as in the ordered motion of sheep guided by their shepherd, just to throw that in. This star cluster was also called a manger. So again, a protection for animals. So that fits in there. So that's the picture that we have. We have the Gate of Men with with a door that establishes protection for a sheep that go in and go out, and Jesus called himself the door, and he called himself the good shepherd that allows the sheep to go in and go out. And we also have these two great flocks, a great flock and a lesser flock, as in the great flock of the church that consists of all of the Gentiles all over the world. And then you have the remnant of Israel that is also guided by the Good Shepherd, although they don't even realize it now. John 10:16, and other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. So at that time, there were two folds, and the Gentile fold didn't even start yet, which is the bigger flock, which is the larger flock. The fold he had when he said that was the lesser flock, consisting of Israel. The two shall be one, and there shall be one shepherd, as in we Gentile church, we are the multitudes that have the invisible Mashiach guiding us. And they, the remnant of Israel, who have been gathered out of the north and out of all the place where they were, but into the land of their fathers, who's been shepherding that? How has that been happening? There shall be one shepherd, implying that there are two shepherds, but there's really one shepherd. So whether they know it or not, the remnant of Israel, the ones that will be saved in and born again in that day, without even knowing it, are being shepherded by the Good Shepherd as we speak. A hint of all of this, Jacob took his right hand and put it on Ephraim, the second born. All right? So Ephraim got the bulk of the blessing, which was that they were going to get the names of their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, upon them. You see, we serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We don't serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. We don't serve the God of Abraham, Ishmael. We serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And that is the fulfillment of, in thee, Abraham, shall all the nations of the world be blessed. For in Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob came Mashiach through the line of Judah, through the line of David. So that is why the younger got blessed. Not the firstborn, which was Manasseh, which is the forgotten one. Manasseh means the forgotten one. Ephraim means the fruitful one. So the firstborn, the forgotten one, don't worry, he's not forgotten. The remnant of Israel is not forgotten. They will be saved. As it says, all of Israel shall be saved in one day. And that's a mystery. Right now, remnant of Israel is being gathered from all the countries right now as a shepherd gathers his sheep. Okay? So those are all the pictures. I'm going to first go to Jacob's blessing to Zebulun. 13. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon. So there you have Zebulun, and he's a haven of the sea and a haven of ships. So there's the word ships, and haven has to do with being a protective covering. Okay? Protective covering of ships. So ship is there, the ark is in the group. So Jacob is directly relating Zebulun with the group of the gate of men that has protection for the sheep. He uses the word haven twice, haven of the sea and haven of ships, and is actually using it 3 times because when he says his border shall be unto Zidon, Zidon was like a fortified city where ships used to be protected. So he said haven by the sea 3 times. All right, now let's go into Zebulun's name. Let's go back to Genesis 30 when Zebulun is first named. Now this is very interesting because, and Leah said, God has endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons, and she called his name Zebulun. Now if you look in the Hebrew there, the word that she uses for endowed and dowry are basically the same word. One's a verb and one is a noun. And then when she uses the word dwell, she calls Zebulun Zebulun the noun of that same verb. All right, so she uses verb, noun, verb, noun. It reminds me of the saying, if you talk the talk, you gotta walk the walk. So you see how that is composed of verb, talk, noun, the talk. Verb, walk, noun, the walk. Okay? And they're both the same except for one letter change. Now that's exactly what she's doing here. Now, first I'll do the English, and then I'll do the Hebrew. In English, she's saying, God has endowed me with a good endowment. Therefore, my husband will dwell with me, so I'll call my son dwelling. That's basically what she says in English. I mean, because she used, again, verb, noun, same word. So, but in Hebrew, it's God has zabad me with a good zebed. Therefore, he will zabal with me, so I'll call him Zebulun. All right, so that's how it sounds in Hebrew. Now, those words, zabal and zebad, are only used once. The word for dwell is never used again as zabal. The word for endowment or dowry, never used again. This is the only time they're used. And I think what's going on here is not only a play on words, but a play on letters of the words. Because in Hebrew, every letter, it means something as a word. Now the Zayin letter, sounds like a Z, means armor or protection or weapon, a protection. Beit means a house, and Daleth means a door. So when she says Dabad, if you look at the letters, what she's saying is a protective house that has a door. A protective house that has a door. And then if you look at the word that she uses for dwell, she's saying a protective house of learning. All right? So she's saying, God has built me such a good protective house with a door that my husband will now stay with me in the house, in the protective house, and we will learn inside the house and we'll learn outside the house, because we're going to be going in and out of the door. The door is implied that you come in and you go out. Directly linking it with the gate of men, when Jesus said, I am the door. By me, men come in and they come out. And we learn of him. He disciples us. And there is the protection. I supply the protective house. All right? So I think that is what. Both Zabal and Zabad have no root word, have no etymology root word. They don't know where it came from. And I think it was made up word. Maybe she was even getting it from the original name of the constellation for Cancer, the crab. I don't know. But it fits so well to me that I think that that was really what she was saying. All right, let's move on here. What is the apostle that goes along with Zebulun? I think that would be Bartholomew. Now, Bartholomew name translates to be son of Thalmon. Now, who was Thalmon? If you look up in the Bible, he was a keeper of the temple gate. All right? So there's only one Thalmon in the Bible, and he was a keeper of the gate. And that makes him fit here in this whole thing. All right, what is the gate of the old city of David? That would be the sheep gate. It's a simple one. It falls right in place. The sheep gate for Zebulun. All right, what is the gemstone? Okay, now the gemstone is the row where you have Issachar, Zebulun, and Judah on the east. And they're in the same row on the gemstone list. And Issachar had the zircon, listed as the ligure in King James. And Judah has the amethyst. And Zebulun has the agate. Now, an agate stone has a characteristic like none of the others, where it is a circle within a circle within a circle and on. Okay? Now that is protection and protection and protection. A corral, a sheepfold, a pendant area, a manger. You know, keep going in and you get protection, 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 protection. Okay, now you guys really should have watched the introduction to this whole theme of the gospel and the stars, for signs and for seasons, how 48 ancient celestial signs identify Messiah, part 1 through 4. You really should have watched that before you watched this, but in case you didn't, what I said in that one explained pretty thoroughly how the name Mazzaroth refers to bringing the dispersed ones of Israel back. It's the third one listed of 4 where it says the Pleiades, a constellation, Orion, a constellation, Mazzaroth, and now I'm going to tell you that too is a constellation, and it fits in this group. And then after that, after Mazzaroth, he says about Arcturus, also a constellation in this group. Now Arcturus, as I mentioned, is Aish, which is the larger flock. So Mazzaroth is the lesser flock. The name for the lesser flock is Mazzaroth. Why do most people refer to Mazzaroth as the name of all of the signs? You know why? How come that happened? Because this constellation that represents the lesser flock is representing the 12 tribes of Israel. And the 12 tribes of Israel are represented by all of the signs of the constellations. So this one sign is a mirror image of all of it, because each of the 12 refers to a tribe of Israel. I think the Mazzaroth, which is the dispersed ones that have been gathered back, that miracle that happened once coming out of Egypt, and again coming out of the north and coming out of all of the places where they have been dispersed. Then they were brought back to their land, and their shepherd, who will be one shepherd with the greater flock, there'll be one fold. Okay, let's close with the key verse again. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. The thief comes not but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and they might have it more abundantly. I am the good shepherd, and the good shepherd gives his life for the sheep.